see. Ready?
Ready.
Okay. My name's John. I'm giving the first speech about the debates last night. Did anyone see the debates last night? Ken? I did. My first one. I've seen the whole debate in years. So that's good. You guys didn't see it. So as Ken remembers, just like the Chicago mayor's race a year or so ago, I'm interested in politics a little bit. So the Chicago mayor's race, I actually gave a little speech on what was going on. So I'll do it for the debate tonight. So I'm sure some of you might know some of the candidates. I'll just go through them all. There's actually, I think, 10 or 12 candidates, but some of them are minor. All the major candidates were in this debate, and there were 7. Bernie Sanders, Mike Bloomberg, Joe Biden, Amy Klobuchar, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, and Tom Steyer. Wow, right? So, Ken, you saw the debate, you know this, but as we were joking about earlier, I enjoyed the debate because although what kind of presidential debate is a typical debate, I thought it was fun because someone had mentioned in the last debate, which was Michael Bloomberg's first debate, I think it was in the Wall Street Journal, they said he makes the debates better because you have this billionaire guy and all of a sudden everyone's jacked up because they're trying to go after this guy, and then for this last debate, another billionaire, Tom Steyer, who I'm sure a lot of you have probably never heard of, he was in the debate as well. So let's go through the candidates one more time so you kind of get a feel of who they are and what they do. We all know Bernie Sanders, who I actually voted for last time, but I'm not voting for this time. They were actually all going after him because he's #1 in the polls. They were trying to bring him down. Mike Bloomberg, who just entered the race recently, he was also someone they were trying to knock down because he spent $400 million, I think more than everyone else combined, and just because of that, you've seen him on TV, working guys at work ask me about him, so his numbers have gone up and the other candidates fear him. Elizabeth Warren, who I will call Bernie Light, she was there, and it seems like she's copied a lot of Bernie's proposals. She's kind of on the way down, but she did well in the debate, by the way, and Bloomberg I thought also did well, and maybe Bernie Sanders was not quite as good as he has been, but he was okay. The other candidates, Mayor Pete, they call him, the youngest guy, he's only 37. He was there and he did his usual, although this time around, to me, he seemed a bit of a lightweight. It just seems like the guy, at 37, are you really ready to be president when you were the mayor of a small town? So that's 4. Who else do we have? We had Amy Klobuchar. She's a senator from Minnesota. She's kind of like the one who is in the middle. She's not too far to the left or right. She's always saying, I'm going to bring everyone together, blah, blah, blah. And just, by the way, the one reason I don't like her is when she first entered the race, it came out that she treats her Senate, the people, her staff, she treats them like horrible, her staff. This is like known thing in Washington, and I was like, there's no way I would ever vote for a person like that. But that's not about the debate. Who else? Tom Steyer, who I had heard about. I'm like, who is this guy? He's a billionaire guy from California. I think he made his money in the oil and gas and other things, and in the past decade or so, he's been very global warming. That's his like big issue. He's all about global warming, and for a few years, he's like, I'm going to enter the race. I'm a billionaire, and people are like, well, whatever. And also, he's probably, especially in the debate, he was the most anti-Trump guy in the whole debate, talking about he was the first one that came out that Trump should be impeached and this guy should be in jail. He was really going hard on Mr. Trump. And actually, as I said, this is the first time I've seen this Steyer guy. I actually thought he did okay for a billionaire guy that hasn't been in politics, and actually the next primary in South Carolina is Saturday. I think he's polling #3, which isn't bad for nobody because he spent a lot of money in that race. And there's one more. Joe Biden. I almost forgot Joe Biden. But actually, Joe Biden, I think he started the campaign off not very well. He seems kind of old and burnt out. But in this debate, I think he did better. He's brought his energy level up. And he's actually leading the polls in South Carolina because of the black vote, which is, like I said, this Saturday. So although people were writing him off in the race, he still has a chance just because he's been doing a little better. As far as more specific things about the debate that I found interesting. Like I said, they were going after Bernie because right now he's 30% in the polls nationwide. And like I said, I actually voted for him last time. And some of the reasons I'm not voting for him this time came up in the debate. One is, I think, he calls himself a democratic socialist, but to me it seems like he's gone really too far to the left this time. Just as an example, there's nothing wrong with free colleges and free health care for everyone, but this time he wants to eliminate all college debt for everybody. $1.5 trillion, just wipe it off. And to me, that's the one issue that has lost me my support. I know just regular middle-class guys at work that have spent upwards of $500,000 sending their kids to school, working hard, saving money, and you're going to tell me that, you know, other guys that use their money for vacations or whatever, their debt is just going to be wiped away. To me, that just doesn't seem fair. They were also after Bernie because he said some things about Castro, Cuba, that some of the good things Castro has done, Alicia, if you can imagine, Castro did good things, is education rate in Cuba. He said, Sanders said that for education is good, and he's actually right. I think the literacy rate in Cuba is 98%, probably higher than this country, or else we wouldn't have Trump. So anyway, aside from Bernie, they're also going after Bloomberg because he has so much money and he has been rising in the polls. Warren has been going after Bloomberg as far as how he treats women and this and that, but this time Bloomberg fought back and I think he held his ground. And actually, of all the candidates, I think more and more I see myself actually going for Bloomberg, Ken. By the way, Ken is from New York. He knows Bloomberg very well, and he's nodding his head like maybe he is too. And some of the reasons, just in general, are I don't care if he's a billionaire or who he is. If he can do a good job, that's fine with me. Someone asked him about legalizing marijuana, and of course Bernie said the first day as president, the whole country will be legalized for marijuana, and Bloomberg said, well, maybe that's not a good idea. I kind of agree with that, having been a wild child when I was younger. Maybe that's not so good. So in closing, I see my time is up. In general, after this debate, I think Sanders is still the front runner, and Ken, I'm not going to predict a winner like I did in the Chicago mayor's race, but I do think right now it probably comes down to Biden, Sanders, and believe it or not, Bloomberg. Bloomberg's whole strategy is to keep Sanders from getting enough delegates, go to the convention. Once they're in the convention, the whole thing opens up, and at that point, really anything can happen. So I will predict that one of these 7 candidates will be the next Democratic nominee, and don't underestimate Mr. Bloomberg, Ken.
All right.
Thank you.